Everybody, my name is Cody and I'm with the charity Sustrans, which is the national charity that makes it easier for people to walk and cycle. I'm going to be talking to you all today about the street outside your school, what it means to be a healthy street, or how can we make our streets healthier. And then we'll talk about school streets. So you actually just had a school street put in today, which is quite exciting. So we're going to talk to you about what it means to be a healthy street, what the school street will do for your school, and why it's important for us to work to make it so that all of our streets are as healthy as possible. So you'll see here, this is your school. So we have the green star is Dorothy Barley. The school street will be going in here. So just Harold Road, we have Ivingho Road as well. So just where my mouse arrow is going is where the school street will be put in. Before we start, I would love for you all to have a moment to think about what words we would use to describe the school outside our street. So this would be a good opportunity for the teacher to maybe pause the video and you all have a discussion about maybe some adjectives or describing words to think about what the street outside your school looks like. And then once we have more of an idea and more of an agreement on what the street is like, we can start thinking about how we can make it healthier and better for everybody. So I suggest pausing the video now, and in the next slide, we'll start the school streets discussion. So a school street is a closing to most motor vehicles on the street outside of your school during morning drop-off and evening pickup. The reason for this is that it helps you and your family travel to school safely because there's less cars on the road, and it allows you to be more active along the way. So it creates more opportunities for us all to walk, scoot, or cycle. It'll also give your families more space for social distancing. As well as there being less cars on the road, this will result in less air and noise pollution around the area. So what this means is that school streets actually make your street healthier. So when we look at what makes a street healthy, there's a few different things that we look at. So for example, is it easy to cross the road? Are there places for people to stop to have shade and shelter? Is the air clean? Do people feel relaxed? All these things make a street healthy in essence. And we want streets to be healthy because this means that people feel welcome to engage with the local community and step outside, get more active, get more involved in their local area. So the healthier a street is, the better it is for everyone. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. So clean air is so important on a street. So if there's more people walking and cycling, that means there's less air pollution. If there's more public transport, it means people don't have to drive as much. More trees are obviously great for taking in air pollution and CO2 and giving us fresh oxygen. And if you hear birds singing, that's a really good indication that your street is quite healthy, or at least that the air is quite good. Other things like, is it easy to cross? So there's certain parts of our society that might need a little bit more assistance crossing the road. So people who are a little bit older, people with special needs, it's really important that there's enough opportunities for people to cross. This includes pedestrians, so people just walking, as well as cyclists or people that are scooting. Not too noisy is important as well. So noise pollution from cars, so beeping, or when cars are stuck in traffic and you can hear their engines rattling. Little things like that kind of creates noise, and that all builds up. So especially when you're in school trying to concentrate on your studies, or even walking to school with your family and friends, it's great that if it's not so noisy, you can have a nice chat with each other, or even just peace of mind, it's a bit more quiet. We always try to reduce noise pollution whenever we can. People feeling safe is super important as well. So we do this through a number of ways. Firstly, we make sure that there's enough open space that people will be able to interact with each other safely, especially with social distancing. We want to make sure there's enough space, and cars take up so much space. So by reducing the amount of cars on our streets, we'll have more places to walk around and give each other the social distancing that we each require. We can do it by reducing speed limits, so making sure that cars aren't able to zoom past and aren't going too quickly down the road. that we all have the respect for each other and that we're giving each other enough time and consideration. And also simple things like streetlights, like having streetlights on the street makes it so that people feel comfortable walking around at nighttime. Things to see and do as well. So even just little things, I didn't include anything too crazy. So just, flower beds or trees or little bits of street art makes people feel a little bit more invited on their street and they feel a bit more welcome. And it just means that they might get out and about more. It's again, we really try to focus that it's really important for us all to stretch our legs, get daily exercise, go for that walk, go for that cycle. It'll mean that your health is better, your mental health is better, you're fitter. Yeah, lots and lots of benefits. So if we were to take a look at these four streets here, top left, we see lots of cars stuck in a traffic jam. We got some people kind of walking in between the cars. We have motorcyclists. You can imagine that because all those cars are on and started and they are in that traffic jam, lots of fumes are being emitted. So I'd say the air pollution is quite bad, as well as it's probably quite noisy. Probably lots of honking. On the top right, we see cars stuck outside a school. So same again, probably lots of honking. The air is probably not so clean. Bottom left, we have cars actually driving onto the grass, which isn't too great. There's, again, traffic jams. You have people walking on the pedestrian, but even look at how much space the cars are taking up and the little tiny amount of space that people who are walking get. So even just trying to reallocate that and make it so that the people that are walking every day and have more space to do so, and that cars and drivers don't get so much room, and that we try and share the space a little bit more. And then if we move on, what about this street? So this is also a school street. This is a school street that we did in another school. You see lots of students cycling. We got some street art going on. We have parents being able to stop and talk to each other. Of course, this was before coronavirus, but you can imagine that instead of this being full of cars driving up and down on the street, we now have room for people to walk and cycle. They feel more comfortable walking and cycling. We have the opportunity for people to spread out more. So for social distancing, we give each other the room that we need. And it's just more fun, right? Like, it's just more fun having all this space to be able to walk and cycle and move around in your day-to-day. So now that we know what makes a street healthy, we're going to look back at the street outside our school once more. So I've put 3 sentences on the screen that I'm going to get your teacher to read out to you all. But before your teacher starts that, we're going to practice. So they're going to read out a sentence, and if you agree with what they said, I want you to give me a big thumbs up in the air. If you disagree with what they said, give me a big thumbs down. And if you're not really sure, maybe shake your hands. So that gives us a good idea of what everyone in our class is thinking about the street outside our school. It gives your teacher an idea of, little things that could be improved. So for this, we're going to be talking about whether or not the air outside your school is clean, if the street outside your school is noisy, and if you feel safe on the street outside your school. So I'm going to let your teacher pause this video now and read out the sentences, and then we'll start on the next slide. So now for the fun part, you're all going to be drawing your ideal school street. If you got to design the school street or the street outside your school, what would you make it look like? Would you put a really nice, rainbow crossing across, or some nice cool designs like we have here on the left-hand side? We can paint the walls as well, like you see on the right-hand side. Or you can do some cool stuff, like you could, I don't know, put in like a lemonade fountain, or maybe a trampoline in the middle of the street. So you can put some cool stuff down as well. And make sure that you include lots of people walking and cycling and no cars, and happy faces and lots of trees. And I can't wait to see all the cool things that you all draw. And just one last final point before I go. I really want to highlight that even though you're getting a school street, which is really exciting, You still need to be really careful when you're on the street. So it doesn't mean that there's absolutely going to be no cars whatsoever. It just means that there'll be less cars on the street. So you still have to make sure that you're looking left and right before you cross. Try and cross with an adult at all times. And just be more aware. You still have to be road safe and aware of your surroundings. We're just trying to make it so that your environment is a little bit cleaner, and we're reducing the likelihood that there are cars in the street. But yeah, I can't wait to see all the cool projects that you all draw. I'll be in touch with your school and hopefully I can pick them up, and I can't wait to see them. So that's all from me. You'll have your school street, you'll have your school posters designed on this piece of paper. And yeah, be as colorful and creative as you like. All right, thanks so much.